Hey everyone, Soundwave84 here. In this review, I'm taking a look at Siege Commander Class Jetfire, or if you want to call him, Skyfire. He is about the most tune-accurate version we've gotten from Hasbro Takara, or what you can call Hashtag. This is him in robot mode. This is what you will pull straight out of the package. Now, I've seen a lot of people saying he doesn't have ankle tilts. He does. They're just tabs. They're in there. You just got to pop the tab. So, then you just untap the other. There. Alright, he's got some ankle tilt. Now, I've done a comparison review video. It's on my channel. You can see it now. I'll put the link down below. It's just me comparing it with different figures from Masterpiece, from Power of the Primes, from Siege, Titan Class Transformers, Combiner Wars Combiners, to show you how he actually scales with current ones. And I'll probably show him with a few in this video as well. But first, we're going to talk about Jetfire. He is an excellently sculpted figure. He's got a lot of detail. If you're into detail on your figures, this is one for you, as he's got a lot of detailing and paneling lines going on here. Lots of nice paint colors. Yes, the backpack is a little weighty, so he does have a little slight arch to the back here, but it's nothing too drastic. He's got lots of articulation as well. Then this little hand gimmick here. His little peg holes for his guns are actually in here. When you close the hands, it pops out, so you can put the gun right in there. Open his fingers back up, and it goes away. Now, I'll go ahead and talk. This is a negative on my figure. This right here is very easy to pop out. It does not hold very tight. Sometimes I want to mess with the hands. This comes right out. Just since I was on the hand, I figured I'd go ahead and mention that. Now, this blue here is a very, very pretty blue. I do like it a lot. It looks even better when you have them in vehicle mode. Nice little detailing and sculpting going on here on the shoulders. Another problem I have with this figure is his shoulders will come untabbed pretty easily. So when I want to just bring his arms back down, they untab. Fine that way. Untab, and I want to put his arms back down. Both sides, I believe, do this for me. Yeah, that's how it just stayed in. The ratchets are a little bit tighter on this side than this side. And here these pop more. He also does have this symbol gimmick where you can flip his symbol. He can be an Autobot, or you can have him be a Decepticon. Then he can switch sides. So if you want to reenact that cartoon, Fire in the Sky, when he was first discovered, you can do the all little symbol flip as well. He has a bunch of peg holes on the figure for you to peg your weaponizers into, battle masters. Of course, he also comes with armor and other weapons that plug in as well. Take a look at the head sculpt. It's probably the, I don't know, it's a good head sculpt. I like it. I just think his face might be a bit too stretched or long. I think the head overall, the face is fine. I think the blue up top, if that was a little bit shorter maybe. I just feel his head is just too tall, but it still is a good head sculpt, and I do like it a lot. So overall, biggest nitpick and con on, like I said, on this figure is just the shoulders pop out when I'm moving the ratchets on his arms, and then this wrist is really, really loose. This one's tighter, but it still pops out fairly easy as well. So we'll put Jetfire back there, and we'll show you with some of the things he comes with. Now, straight out of the package, you will get this piece here, which is his, you say, his torso armor, his breast shield, chest shield, whatever. Also, it opens up right here, and inside it you'll find his other Jetfire face. He also comes with these weapons as well. There's two of each. And this in the box actually comes pegged together. And I'll move Jetfire so I can focus a little better on the gun here. This right here will just slot into here. And then you can push these two pegs down. And then doing this one, we'll bring this other peg up. I'm trying to get this other peg to come up. There you go. A double barrel blaster. And that's how it actually comes in the package, like this. He comes with these. And you can use all these weapons with this to make like a mini armory you put on top of his jet mode. Or you also, honestly, I think when I put it together, it looks like it could be its own little small, like, drone spaceship or something. You also get lots of fire blast effects. You get, again, 2 of everything. 2 of these. 2 of these. And 2 of these. And yes, these can be plugged into here if you desire. Or if you want to go even crazier, you can take these, plug these into there, take this and plug it into there, and you have that as well. And they do fit around the barrels of these smaller guns into the barrels of these larger guns. The only problem is when you do one with the big at the bottom, you can't do one in both. And of course, it will fit inside the barrels of these. Now, I just take these skinny ones here and use those for the weapons for him when he shoots, because that way you can actually put him in both at the same time. Another thing is on the figure, if you want to have him getting shot, you know, it's one of the things about blast effects. He can have multiple places here where he's getting blasted by Decepticons. So I really do like the blast effects. That's just something I wish Hasbro and would just sell on their own. Sell a big pack of them for the same price as a Micromaster or something. Or sell just a few for the price of Battle Masters. Now we're going to armor him up into his armor mode top here. So what we're going to do is open this piece here, pop his head out. I'm going to push it from the top back here in the back. And take his head out. Now it shows this being the last thing you do, but I'm just going to do it first. There are these little bitty notch kind of peg thing in here. That'll just kind of slot in the little design in his head. So just push this in. There you go. And you can have your Jetfire be like this without all the armor. And I think that looks fine as well. And yes, they didn't do the I-band red like the G1 toy or anything. They did it blue. Just close this piece back down. On this sides here on his chest, we open these panels, these pieces up. His chest pieces scare me a little bit until they kind of lock straight out. There are these little slots here on the inside of this piece, which you will then press in. Just line it up, press it on. There you go. Now I'm going to take these guns here, use the peg in the middle, the peg right here in his arms. Then back here on the back of his wings, there are these little red pegs that you want to fold out. Now, they're really hard for me to get out because I don't have fingernails or anything. So what I found works is just untap this part of the wing, straighten all the way out. Then when you fold it back down, it'll be sticking out. And you can just straighten it up the rest of the way. Like that. The same other wing, just got that piece. I'll straighten it all the way out. Bend it back to tab it back in, and the piece will stay out. Pull it up. Now you take the little guns, then there's a little peg hole here, which then you will then just peg in onto these. And do the same on the other side. Now there's these guns here. And then they have pegs and they have peg holes right here. They will take the peg holes and there's these little tabs on the sides. You will then just tab that tab into the peg hole. Now we can spin them back around. And there's Jetfire. Now you take this gun here. They want you to split it up for this mode and pull the other handle down. And you can just, then we'll close his fist up to get the peg hole out. Plug in his gun. Also, this wrist here is a little loose. It's tight with there. Once you get to one side here, it will want to fall over. It's more noticeable when you have the gun doubled together. Close up the other fist. Get that hole ready. Plug it in. See that over here. Tap that. There you go. And there is Jetfire in his armor mode. Now, that's not a mode I'm really going to do much. Like I said before, I'm a stickler more for cartoon aesthetic. He is going to be looking more like Skyfire. Alright, now I'm removing the armor pieces. And I stopped here because I want to talk about this as I remove these. When I unpeg his guns from this little piece here, I just feel it's a tight fit that I'm going to eventually break this. I don't know. It might not. It's such a tight fit in there, and I'm trying to pull that out. I'm just fearing I'm going to snap something. And again, the loose wrist here part that untabs very easily. So that one's a little bit better. Then the chest piece here, when I pull this off, it wants to untab these panels here. So you try to hold them in with your thumbs. This one already came out, but there we go. They easily tab back in. That's one of those pieces that when they come out, there's on a thinner piece of plastic here that if you yank it too hard, there's a possibility there you might snap something. So just be gentle, or not so careless. Close these panels back in when you're done pulling that off. I'm going to leave his battle mask on just for our quick comparisons here, because it is comparison time. And we're going to show that off with the G1. So it looks sort of similar, but it's while still being totally different, I guess. Only really the similarities is he's got a mouth plate and then a visor. It's just a different color visor, but yeah. Then we can do with the Thrilling 30 version with his little battle mask on. And that's a little bit closer. This one's actually closer to the G1 toy with the black antenna, whereas this one has no antenna. Alright, to remove the battle mask, all you want to do is just grab and pull forward. And now we'll compare it with the Thrilling 30 once more with the two cartoon style faces, which I actually think the Thrilling 30 did a little bit better than the current Siege figure did. He's so tall, let's aim it down so you can see it a little bit better. Then if you want to bring in the third party Phoenix, which I don't know why people keep comparing these two together. It's apples and oranges. There's that face. This face, I think, is even more close to the cartoon from Famous Toys. Then you got your Thrilling 30. This is them all together. Now, I think that Hasbro did an excellent job with this Jetfire, and he is a masterpiece of his own that fits in the Siege line, not with your masterpiece. Now, I know people are wanting to use this figure maybe as a masterpiece fill-in or to plug a hole because they can't pop $200 down on a Phoenix, which I totally understand. So we'll just show them off here with MP10, the Toys R Us version. Just get you some scale on them there. So if you think this is a good scale, then he will fit for you. But the difference here is that he is, compared to the Takara's Masterpiece Ultra Magnus, Magnus is about this tall. So they're almost the same height. Magnus is only about an inch shorter than this Jetfire. And if you want to compare them with current Siege figures, here is Voyager Optimus Prime, Starscream, who needs to be his friend. Here is Ironhide, who is a large deluxe. And that gives you some sort of scale going on there. I think that's a good scale. I think that fits. And we can get a mini bot. Here is Brawn. It's very close to the scale chart. And I'll put a scale chart up here so you can see it. So Prime, it should probably be about half an inch taller, or Jetfire half an inch shorter, to make the prime Jetfire scale chart part work. I think this prime is just a tad bit small, but it's close enough. And we'll compare them to what's really going to ruin your collections if you're a stickler for scale, is putting Jetfire next to a Combiner Wars Combiner. Here is Computron from Hasbro's version. They are pretty much exactly the same height. He might be just a tad taller. His antenna make him taller, but his head might end is slightly higher than his, but they're pretty much the exact same height. Now, according to the Precious or Holy G1 scale chart, Jetfire should only come up to about the waist of a Combiner. And we'll show that off here with Titan Class Devastator. And I'll put a scale chart up there with this because this is about the right scale. That's about how tall Jetfire should be to a Combiner. Alright, so moving on in my hour-long presentation of this Jetfire figure. Go over articulation. You should know what you're going to get, but I'll just go over it anyway. He's got ratcheted hips. You can kick out to there. That ratchet doesn't hold very well at the very top, but I don't know how many people are going to be doing that, but yeah. He's got ratcheted knees. About 90 degrees. Straighten that back up. Bring his leg back down. He's got ratcheted elbows. It's a soft ratchet. Actually, it's a little bit harder than I thought it was. Maybe it's the other elbow. One of these just doesn't sound that way. No. I was mistaken, but he has ratcheted elbows. I guess about a 90-degree bend. This piece here will move out of your way as you move the figure. So you move it down. This piece then has its own movement, so you can push it back up. He's got ratcheted shoulders, which I showed you earlier. There, it just came off. That's more the soft ratchet. Go to about there. Yeah. He's got wrist articulation. It's a swivel in there. This piece here will move out of your way for the hips. And there's no ratchets on the hips going outwards. It's just friction. Hold the shoulder in so I can lower this back down. Now you can go around. It's ratcheted. You're not going to get all the way around because of his wing. Now you can possibly move his arm out and then finish your rotation that way. Then you just have to push it back in. So there is a waist swivel. It's just very, very small. You only go from there to there. Head. It's got a good up and okay down. You can get further up. This piece here will kind of come up for you. So you can get this a little bit more. And you can spin it all the way around 360 style. And of course you have these ankle tilts here. If you want to straight leg them, or for transformation, you can. It does tab back in. There's a slot in the tab. There. It has light piping. Let's see if I can show that off here. And it's a good light piping. Alright, so let's get to the transformation of Jetfire. Only 20 minutes into my video. So we want to untab this. We want to pull this piece out. Then you will close his hand all the way back in. Do the same on the other side. Open all the way up. Pull this piece out. Pull his hand all the way back in. Come back here to his wings. Grab his wing, untab it, pull it out until it straightens all the way. Take this piece here, it will now unfold out. And there's a little notch here that will go over this piece here. Underneath the wing, there's this piece here, which will then unfold outwards. And then lock into place. Do the same on the other wing, back piece out, straighten all the way. Unfold this, we'll lock in over it. Take this piece here, bring it out, locks into place. And he has these here, lay these down, then you can plug guns into them or whatnot. Okay, come back around to the back of his legs. Piece on the inside of the thigh here. Grab this, open it up. you'll see he has another thruster here, and he's got thrusters here. But I like how they hide this and kind of fake it. It sticks in there. This will eventually tab into these to make a longer thruster, which I actually find that kind of cool. There is a peg hole here and a peg here, which will tab into place right there. Same on the other side. And then tab it into place. Now the legs are sort of like Combiner Wars. You'll now comes untabbed from here. And there's a tab here, which when you bring this up will tap into this little slot inside here. And the whole part is just lining that up. That's the hard part. There we go. And his legs are done. Now he's a short boy. Now we'll untab his shoulders. Untap the chest piece. Bring this up. Tap the chest. Bring this up. Go and grab his head here. I'm going to actually kind of pull it up as a tad. And actually, you see how it pulls up the entire piece here. Come around to his back. Grab this piece here. It comes untabbed. You bring this down, and now these will tab into these other thrusters, and this right here will slot into this little slot. It goes tabbed in, and get that slotted in. There you go. Take these, bring them up. Bring this whole piece up, bring this over. They are on a little hinge. You want to, right here, that you want to kind of fold this over so it gets out of your way. We'll do more of it in a minute. Bring this up. There are two slots here, two tabs here, or notches. Bring this up, line it up, snap in place. You'll keep bringing this up. His head will then collapse inside of here. And you bring it all the way up to where it's straight. That hides the head inside there. Take his wings, fold them down. Now we're going to work on the arms. These pieces here will fold in, and they will, there's a slot here that will tab in right there. So we got to work these in. The first thing you want to do is his arms will collapse, sort of. His upper arm will go inside his forearm. So we want to, it kind of wiggles in there. Like so. I fear breaking my toys when I do this stuff like this. And once you get that fully in, so one of these pieces moves, the other one does not. Just letting y'all know. This folds in. There is this piece here, his old peg. You will turn this piece around because there's a peg hole here. You want this piece down anyway. So when you get this around, this piece here will then tab in. This will then tap into that. I think I got that. Straighten that piece out. Should tell you that. Straighten that out. Fold that in. Spin this around. Same thing. Get that in there. Tab it in. Now you want to take his chest pieces. Bring it all the way aside so it collapses in. This little hinge. And then there is a little slot here. A tab here that will tab into. And there's a slot right here on the inside that will tab on this tab right here. So it's about lining all that up and getting it in. There we go. Do the other side. Yes, I do have a problem with that as well. These will untap kind of easily if you hit them. His hands are supposed to tab together too. Forgot that piece. When you get them in there, put this back on. Come back here to the feet. You want to fold that in, Alright, tab back in his ankle tilts. Fold these top feet in, fold these over it. And you're done with Jetfire. Like I said, the biggest problem here is these pieces here on the sides can come untabbed pretty easily for me. And of course, still this way, you can still have them be an Autobot, or you can flip this to have them be a Decepticon jet. So you can still fully reenact that episode. Now you can also armor him up with his weapons, guns, on any of the ports, tabs. These black things down here are handles. You can pull out. He also has 2 more down here, which I cannot get out because I don't have fingernails at all. I can't get these out, but they're also handles. So what you can do is you can hang Transformers off of them to deploy them. You've seen this if you've seen any of the pictures from the toy shows and everything. They'll hold Deluxes, they'll hold Voyagers. I put Prom on here, I put Ironhide on here. You have 4 sets of them. We'll back up. He also has right here, you pull this down. He's got a little snap to a lock. And he's got 2 more in his kneecaps. Pull those all the way down. And yes, these wheels do spin. He will actually roll. So that's nice. I actually gave him wheels that roll, whereas most toys nowadays, they're just fixed. Like this piece here, you can pull up on and untab, and you can fit little like Titan Masters right inside. Let's head back in here. Close this back up. Now this piece here, you can now combine everything together to form another armor piece add-on. So you take these 2 little guns here, and they will now tab together. You take the peg here, peg hole here, stick it in. Same on the other. Now it has this little fin here, which you then take, and it will then slot into this fan. Now this is probably the thing you probably should do last, because you're probably going to end up knocking this out. Like that. Okay, the big gun here, there's 2 little notches back here. There's 2 little holes here. Just tab that in. And there's some in the front as well. Tab it in. We'll take these guns here. See, there's these little notches on the sides. And you'll use this tab, this peg right here, which will peg in here. These little notches will slot into here. And the same on the other side. And there you go. You have your own little add-on. To me, it looks like a cool little spaceship in its own right. Like a little drone ship or something you could deploy. Or roll him back over. Fold these down. He has a peg hole on top. Peg. Slot it in. And whammo, he is armored to the teeth. He is going to blow some people away. And you can use your blast effects. You know, stick them all in the guns and everything, however you want to do it. Alright, so other things you do, of course, with the guns. I don't want to go through everything and show everything. The video is long enough, but you can peg these on in any of the peg ports. You can take the guns here that have just the peg holes, or even this one that has the peg but has a peg hole, and you can always stick it on the underneath on these red pegs. Then you can always take the ones, and there's these tabs again when you used earlier when he's in robot mode. You can always tab a gun on the side. It's your choice, and you can always just take a single gun. You can peg that back up here, which is the bottom of that big thing. Take these, you can peg them on back here. The back of the jet, you can peg it on one of them just up here. I mean, the world is your playground. So there's just lots of cool things you can do with this figure. And he is humongous. So I'll just show him off here with a deluxe Commander Wars car. Just give you some sort of scale. This. And here's an old Generations cup. It's So he's a big one. Overall, is he worth the $80? Yes, I would say he is. If you're a big fan of Jetfire, Skyfire, definitely worth it. If you are a completist, of course. If you're into scale and you don't collect Masterpiece and you just collect the regular ones, yes, but only if you're a stickler for the scale chart. If Thrilling 30 Jetfire did it for you, I wouldn't say you have to upgrade to this. Because he will throw off your Combiner Wars scale, whereas Thrilling 30 Jetfire will fit in with the Combiner Wars combiners. Now, if you want something that's going to go with your Titan class combiners and the upcoming Siege Omega Supreme that fits more with scale, this would be your version you would want to own. Is he a fill-in for Masterpiece? Possibly, if you're not looking for an overly huge Jetfire. If you're more into the scale, like the Thrilling 30 size leader class to the current Voyagers and Deluxes, that's your kind of scale, then this will fit in your Masterpiece, because that's basically how he will scale with your MP10s and stuff. So overall, it is an excellent figure, definitely worth the $80. One I will definitely recommend. He has his faults, but he has his good sides, and I think the good definitely outweighs the bad in this figure. Anyway, I know this was a very long video, but he is a very big figure, very complicated with lots of stuff going on, and I was just trying to show you all the ways he can compare with other figures in case you didn't watch my other video. And I want to say thanks for watching. Until the next video reviews. Peace out.